So, folks, as we said, apparently there's a surge in bushfires across the island in recent weeks. Chief Fire Prevention Officer in the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Sean Martin, joins us now to discuss how these fires can be prevented. Morning, sir. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for your service,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
Thank you for your service, sir. Before we get there, I know you had some colleagues who were shocked. I think that's the word I'm supposed to use.
Right.
And three of them were serious enough to go to the hospital.
Right.
How are they, sir?
They are still in the hospital, a little bit unstable.
Oh, no.
Based on some test results that came back, they decided to keep them for further observation, monitoring. They'll be doing some more tests today. So as of now, all three are still there.
And I know you had three others who were also shot but didn't go to the hospital.
Right. Well, they were treated and they were released.
They are all right.
Those they are doing okay.
Okay.
But the other three, still some cause for concern based on the results that came back. Yes.
Oh, no.
Life-threatening?
No, I wouldn't think so. But at this stage, we don't want to go too much into details about it because we'd want for all the tests to be completed.
Fair enough.
But yesterday afternoon, based on the test results that came back, the doctor decided that they want to keep them for observation and do some more tests because they are concerned.
And one more update again before we get to where you came. How is the smoke at Riverton?
Right. So the latest update, it is still ongoing.
Smoke?
Right. There are still some small pockets of fires that are left. They are trying to cover. As you know, the fire brigade is working alongside with National Solid Waste because they are the ones who are bringing in the cover material. We are wetting the cover material and assisting putting the fires out as we see it. So that situation is still ongoing. The smoke nuisance is not as bad as it was. We are hoping that we can bring it, totally get rid of the situation in short order. But it's not totally up to us because it's a collaborative effort.
All right. Okay, sir.
So we're talking about bushfires, sir. First of all, can you give us an overview regarding the situation of bushfires across the island?
So I want to go back a little in terms of bushfires. So in 2015, I became a Chief Fire Prevention Officer. We look back at the data, and when we analyze the data from, say, to 2013, we have over 7,800 bushfires in that particular year. 2014, we have 7,600 bushfires for that year. And 2015, we have 7,261. So we met as a team and we decided that we have to look at this because these numbers are really a lot. So we came up with a community fire and life safety education program that we believe can target these bushfires. During that particular period of time, we had the Mavis Bank situation going on. And we did a project, we write the British High Commission, and we got some sponsorship. And we did an intervention program. That program was very successful. So in 2016, it dropped to 3,716. And in 2014, 4,116. And in 2018, we kind of see an increase, goes back to 5,137. Because, you know, program comes to an end, it requires funding for you to move the program forward. And because that program with the embassy came to an end, with the High Commission came to an end, we didn't have the funding to sustain that program. So we realized that the numbers went back up. So in 2020, we were at like 6,100. Another cause for concern. So what we tried to do is to revamp the program and remove some of the components of the program. Because the program with the British High Commission, we were able to equip the communities with some level of firefighting equipment, and we were able to train them because they would have funded all of that. So without our major title sponsors, we had to reduce some of that, but still do the training. So in 2021, we would have seen a reduction to 4,000, and in 2022 to 3,000. But again, when you have resources and you bring some things under control, you try to focus on other areas that you might have the funding for. And we are seeing a worrying trend. Last year, it was 6,443.
What?
And this year, it is not looking good. Because one of the concerns we have, normally, the peak of the bushfire season is between January, February, and March. No, March normally is the lowest of the 3 months. Now we are seeing that March is the highest that's been over that part, over the last 3 years.
Right.
The climate change, we're having drier period for a longer period of time. And the condition is right for bushfire, and it is right for bushfire to spread. if you should just even get up and look in your yard at the plants and the grass.
Man.
So at this time of the year, you hardly call the gardener to cut your yard because the grass is just not growing and it's brown. So any form of fire in and around your yard, that will spread pretty quickly. And if you look at the hills right now, it's like it is not green and lush as you normally see it. It is very, very brown.
What's causing the fires?
Well, careless use. Careless use. People trying to clear land using fire. Some persons burning rubbish in the back of their yard. Persons maybe smoking, discarding the light. So the fires are caused by simple things. But once you leave fire unattended, it will spread. Just about 2 weeks ago, my neighbor lit some rubbish. And he thought probably the fire was extinguished, or was out, or it was burnt out. And he left it and went somewhere. And luckily I was home. Then the wind took the fire. Sparks blew across my yard. I had to get my garden hose, put it out. And I have to go across the neighbor, put out that fire. So what I'm saying, when I spoke to him when he came back, he thought the fire was out when he was leaving. And that is the thing about it. The wind is very high, and the wind blow the fire from one place to the next. And once the fire finds fuel, that fire will burn.
Where do you find that the bushfires are most common? Where are the most problematic areas?
So in the dry areas, so Kingston is having a lot of calls. St. Catherine is having a lot of calls. St. Elizabeth is having a lot of calls. So you find the farming communities is one of those areas that we have concern. And one thing that we realize, when we do the interventions in the targeted communities, we see a significant reduction because you bring home that message to persons. They get the message, they understand the message. But after a while, if you don't keep reinforcing that message, they go back to those practices because it is what they know and what they're used to.
Yeah, well, we keep hearing that you don't have enough trucks. We keep hearing that we have problems with water when the fire trucks get there. Do you have the wherewithal to deal with these bushfires?
All right. There's always need for more, and you always want more. But I think at this stage, we're at the best stage that we have ever been since I've been a part of the fire brigade.
Oh, great.
And I've been a part of the fire brigade for about 28 years now.
Oh, great.
And so, like,
why you say that though? Why you say best stage?
In terms of the number of units that we would have had.
Okay.
So basically, most divisions have a reliable fire unit, and we have support units in terms of we would have our emergency command vehicle that can give support and can bring additional persons. So right now, every single division has a emergency command vehicle. It's the first since I've been in the fire brigade.
What about water?
Well, water is never ever enough, and that is one area that we're trying to focus on getting some new tankers, because what you find when you have a tanker, that tanker can refill a unit about 3 or 4 times, because the unit doesn't carry a lot of water. It carries roughly about 4,000 liters of water, but you find that a tanker will carry roughly around 20,000 liters of water, minimum 10,000 depending on the size. So what it does, it augments your firefighting operation by refilling your unit more than once. So that is one area that we're looking to actually improve on now.
All right, so in the event of a bushfire, what should I do?
The first thing you need to do is call the fire brigade. What we say to the public, don't wait until the fire gets out of control for you to notify us. It's better you call us and you don't need us. So it's better we arrive and the situation is under control, because once the fire gets out of control, it is more difficult for us to control or contain that fire. And by then, the loss would have been at a particular level that we would not have wanted. So once there's a bushfire, call the fire brigade while you might try to put any measures in place that you want to.
Yeah. You came here to talk about bushfires, but what about the homes and stuff like that? Are we seeing lots of
no, so basically we are seeing limited amount of structural fires, and those, while we would want it to be at a lower level, it is at an acceptable level, because we had a campaign.
Is that unacceptable or not?
No, I'm saying we're not seeing a drastic increase in terms of the number of house fires, because we had a Make We Fix It campaign a couple of years ago where we targeted children. So we go into the schools, or we go into the homes, go into the communities, and we try to inform them how to prevent fires and what to do in the event of a fire. And we find that has been some level of success there. It is still something that we want to bring down, because one fire is still too much. And when we look at the number of life that is lost as a result of fire, it gives us cause for concern, because we are losing people who are most vulnerable, because normally it's the children or the adult who dies in fire, like persons who are aged. because these people are not able to move about as they really should.
Yeah.
So that campaign is always ongoing and we always focus on that. But right now, what we're seeing now, because if we look at the bushfires, even in the recent time, over the last 3 months, I do have some data in that regards, which will actually tell us that bushfire is actually on the increase over the period that we're talking about. So if we look at it from January to March, here up and here, over the last 3 years, there's been a steady increase. So what we're doing, we're going back to that program. We're looking for sponsors to assist us with the program because it requires funding for the program to work. And our major concern now is that normally at March, it peters out. But we see that at March, it is still at the highest that's been over the last 3 years. And April is continuing that rise.
I asked you earlier if you have enough trucks. Do you have enough firefighters?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. In the sense that we are at our complement now, and we are going through a restructuring exercise where we are actually adding to the complement. So we have gotten an approval from finance to expand the complement of the fire brigade, meaning to employ more firefighters. We are now at phase 2 of that restructuring exercise, and we are just now awaiting the final approval for implementation of some additional personnel.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome.
And again, thanks for your service. We need you.
Chief Fire Prevention Officer in the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Deputy Commissioner Sean Orlando Martin.
When we come back, we discuss ways that farmers can manage the dry season. Stay with us, please. Soon come.